Welcome, I'm the Factual Gamer, and these are this week's gaming news. On April 17, last Friday, Electronic Arts announced the new Star Wars Battlefront game. The game uses the Frostbite engine, already used in titles such as Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline, and Dragon Age Inquisition. Just like the previous games in the series, Battlefront will feature both first and third-person perspectives, but the new title has three details that have created a bit of backlash from the fans of the series. The first is that maps are limited to 20 versus 20 players, unlike previous games on which the maximum number of players was 64 and not 40. Also, the game will reportedly not feature any space battles, unlike previous titles of the series. And finally, it won't have any single-player component, meaning that Battlefront will be an exclusively online multiplayer game. The reveal trailer presented by Electronic Arts is said to be entirely comprised of game engine footage. This does not mean, however, that it's representative of gameplay quality graphics. Battlefront will be released for PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on November 17 in the United States and November 19 in Europe. On the same day, Mortal Kombat X's cinematic director Dominic Cianciolo pretty much confirmed through a tweet that one of the game's new characters, Kong Jin, is in fact gay, as some players suspected. Kong Jin, who makes his first appearance in the Mortal Kombat series, is the younger cousin of veteran character Kung Lao. At a certain point in the game, during a dialogue with another character, it is suggested to Kong Jin to join the warrior Shaolin monks, to which he responds he can't because they won't accept. The other character, Raiden, then replies, "They care only of what is in your heart, not whom your heart desires." Even though gay characters have existed in video games for decades, it's a first for Mortal Kombat. As usual and expected, some players showed support for the inclusion of a gay character, while others hated it. On April 21st, Tuesday, game development studio Squad announced that Kerbal Space Program is finally coming out of beta and early access and being launched as a complete title on April 27. The game was originally made available in June of 2011 through the official Kerbal Space Program store, and in March of 2013 was also made available on Steam, and throughout the years it has created quite a cult following. In the game, players can manage their own space program, build rockets and even airplanes, and fly to space to complete a large array of missions, from deploying satellites in orbit to landing a ship on other planets. Even though the Kerbals, the game's characters, have a very cartoony look, the game itself is actually a rather complex physical simulation of space engineering and orbital mechanics. The following day, on April 22, the game Little Devil Inside was greenlit on Steam and continues its Kickstarter campaign for funding. Little Devil Inside is a 3D survival action RPG that, according to the developers, focuses more on everyday life. The trailer revealed just a few days ago stirred up a lot of buzz around it because of its stylized cartoony look, even though it's still in alpha. With 31 days to go on the Kickstarter campaign, the pledges are up to $67,000 for an asked amount of $250,000. The team behind the game, NeoStream, is now based in Seoul, South Korea, after having been founded in 1998 in Australia. The game doesn't currently have a release date. And yesterday, April 23, Thursday, Patrice Désier, the creative director on Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, and who was also involved in the development of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, presented his new team, Panache Digital Games' first project, Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey. The game is a third-person action-adventure survival episodic game, and according to the developers, through each episode the player will relive some of mankind's greatest moments. Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey doesn't currently have a release date, and although a teaser trailer was presented by Patrice Désier during the Reboot Develop 2015 conference, so far the trailer wasn't officially released. And that's it for the news. Coming up, the releases. Today the releases are Dungeons 2, Dragon, a game about a dragon, Next Thursday, April 28, the releases are Omega Quintet, Broken Age: The Complete Adventure, Shadowrun Chronicles: Boston Lockdown, The Perils of Man. The following day, on April 29, Wednesday, there's a single release, The Weaponographist. On April 30, Thursday, the games being released are Guns, Gore, and Cannoli. Solarix. Gathering Sky. Order of Battle, Pacific. Subterrain. Chroma Squad. Block and Load. And finally, on Friday, May 1st, there's a single game release, Trigger Saint. And that's all. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and also share the video with your friends. I'll be back next Friday, and that's a